Evening, Dr. Morse, injury experts. So another big week 9. Some crazy upsets today. Patriots still rocking. Colts unfortunately took an L. Josh Allen continues to have Patrick Mahomes' number in the regular season. We saw the Seattle Seahawks go absolutely nuclear tonight, and unfortunately, there was a ton of injuries today, more than several of the past weeks. And we are heading into the Monday night game and then heading into week 10 in a couple days. Now, Jayden Daniels just suffered a potentially significant left elbow injury. It appears to be a left elbow dislocation, possible fracture. Very good chance it ends his season. It probably is going to require surgery, just depending on if there's a fracture and how many ligaments are torn. The good news is that this is his non-throwing elbow, and everything goes well. Should be no long-term issues, and he should be good to go for next year. But an unfortunate injury. CJ Stroud suffered a concussion after sliding, and his head hit the turf, and that was it. Davis Mills could not keep it up and ended up losing that game. They should have won that game. Puka Nacua suffered another injury today. Didn't look overly concerning. It was actually a rib injury where he landed on the ball and I think someone pressed on top of him. Usually this is a rib cartilage sprain, or what we call fracture, and not a true rib fracture. And if the game was much closer, he probably would have went back into the game, but he'll be fine for next week. He didn't get quite to that triple-digit mark. I think he was a couple yards shy, but he would have easily eclipsed it. Brian Thomas Jr. suffered a left ankle injury after getting rolled up on during his really only big play of the week or of the day. Excuse me. And when he was planning and he planted with his left foot, trying to cut back to the right, a guy rolled up on the ankle. So while we couldn't see it, these are usually high ankle sprains, unless he got super lucky and this is just a mild one. Well, we're going to have some concerns about next week. He is massively disappointed. He was my big reach for round one, late round one, but he has been anything short of miraculous. He's been awful. Parker Washington continued to smash today, was the alpha today, and very may well could be going forward. The other major injury of the day is Tucker Kraft suffering a contact right knee injury, where it looked like a classic MCL sprain, but based on how the player hit his knee, there's a possibility that the ACL and or the PCL were also injured. Now, only about 25% of ACL injuries are contact. J.K. Dobbins comes to mind. But most of them are non-contact. But and this isn't usually what we would say, hey, this is a classic MCL sprain, but due to the force and just the angle, there's a possibility the ACL could be compromised. But we did get the following update from coach saying basically, yes, we are very concerned about his knee. And then Ian Rappaport basically said, yes, they're concerned about ACL. They're just waiting for an MRI to confirm, which would be unfortunate. I don't know if he's going to be ready for week 1 next year. It really depends on specifics. But that would be an awful injury for another up-and-coming Tucker Kraft. Aaron Jones also suffered an injury. It looks like an AC sprain of his shoulder. He's been doing pretty good since coming back from his hamstring issues. I expect him to probably be okay and play next week, although we'll have to monitor if it's more we call a type 1 versus a type 2 or worse. If it's a type 1, I think there's a decent chance he plays next week. Rico Dowdle had another ridiculous game, left for a brief period of time with a quote-unquote leg injury, but as far as I know, he came back and didn't have any other issues. Amon Ra St. Brown had a similar thing where he was on the ground for a little bit, came back, and it looked like he was okay, so I don't really have any updates for them. Kayshon Boutte, unfortunately, suffered a hamstring strain and did not do a single thing, I think, all day after that. So unfortunate, but the Patriots keep rocking, but they could probably use him next week against the Bucs. I do not have an update for you regarding Bucky Irving, unfortunately. For those of you who are asking, they don't usually give us much during a bye. So hopefully we hear something tomorrow, but we might not know anything until Wednesday, which would be unfortunate. Same with Trey Benson. Woody Marks also left the game briefly, but I think he came back and he didn't really do a whole lot today. Samaje Perine suffered an ankle injury, potentially significant. And we saw Chase Brown actually tie the record this year for the most targets for a running back with CMC with 14. We saw Joe Flacco coming off of an AC sprain go absolutely nuclear, 470 yards passing. and he's 40, which is impressive. Shout out to Joe Flacco. And we saw, the other Joe Burrow throwing on the sidelines today actually looked pretty good. Wasn't stepping in his throws a whole lot, and that's okay. But the question is, does he even come back? Because this team continues to lose, and without that, it's not really worth the risk. Cole Kmet also suffered a concussion. We saw Dyami Brown suffer a concussion, and then Matthew Golden left with a shoulder injury on his own. I would not be surprised if we see Christian Watson actually take the alpha role here. He continues to look good. And then Romeo Doubs will continue to be that kind of high-targeted but low-volume guy in terms of yardage. Dyami Brown suffered a concussion, as I mentioned. And then Luke McCaffrey, CMC's brother, suffered a shoulder injury. I believe it was on the early in the game. And then those asking about Joe Alt, unfortunately suffered a re-injury to his high ankle sprain that he just came back from a couple weeks ago. And this probably is going to require what we call tightrope surgery, which is usually a 4 to 6 week injury. So this is basically a re-injury of the same tissue that wasn't really healthy. And this time it probably tore to the point where he has to have surgery, and there's just no stability. So that not the biggest thing in the long run, but it would take him out for at least a month to 4 to 6 weeks, which would be unfortunate. That's what I have for you. A lot of guys injured today. I'm sure there'll be more that we haven't heard about yet. Hopefully you win your matchups. Hopefully you were able to make some money on betting if that's your cup of tea. Check out some of the other individual videos that I did. I will drop some more probably Tuesday or Wednesday as more information starts to come out heading into week 10. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you on Friday morning for the breakdown and preview of week 10.